on Pesco. My objective is to accompany the member states in finding their ways to establish a permanent structured cooperation, because this is one of the instruments of cooperation in the field of defence that we have in the European Union, and we have seen that not using it makes us lose part of our resources. Here we can talk really about the costs of non-Europe in the field of defence. So it's about spending better because we can start spending together. That is it. Then it's in the hands of the member states, that's why I'm stressing, to identify the projects they want to start with a permanent structured cooperation. This is a process that will happen in the coming weeks. I hope weeks and not months, but in any case, given the pace of the progress we've made and really the substantial work the member states have done, I would expect that this can go relatively fast. I count on the good cooperation between the end of the Maltese presidency and the beginning of the Estonian presidency to have this work done by the end of the year. But again, I cannot give you my sense of the dimension of the projects, because now we are entering to the phase where member states have to put projects on the table and say this is what is interesting for us to do together through the permanent structured cooperation. The role I have through the European Defence Agency I chair and the European External Action Service I lead is to accompany the member states in the definition of these projects, but the input comes from the capitals. So we will see it in the coming weeks. I believe the permanent structured cooperation can fill in the gap for sure when it comes to the output of our capability investments. I always say this, I apologize, I repeat it once again. If you look across the Atlantic, the Europeans spend 50% of what our American friends spend on defense, and the output of our investments in defense is 15%. So we have an output gap that we need to fix. And permanent structured cooperation, which means common projects among member states supported by the European Union, can fill this gap of the output. Having said that, if we put together the defense budgets of all the EU 28 member states, and even if you put together the budget of defense of 27 member states, minus one, still it's the second largest budget on defense in the world, which means that we have a huge potential if we act together, spending together, and this is what PESCO is about.